Early in the morning, what is the next best thing to do? Talk contracts. What is up, Fin fans? Good morning to you. I know for a fact that I'm releasing this video real early in the morning. I got some contract details I want to talk about and give you guys an update on the cap space. Maybe even talk a little bit about best available free agents. We could talk about that as well. Just wanted to give you guys an update before the second day of the tampering period starts. Again, we got to remember something. This is the tampering period. So this technically isn't the start of free agency. So there's a lot of moves still left to be made. There's a lot of free agents that are still out there. There's a lot of unsigned Miami Dolphins that are still out there. There's a lot still out there and a lot to be done. So today might be crazy. Just so you know, I'm going to the eye doctor. I haven't got to the eye doctor. Little inside note, because you're probably like, Doug, I don't give a crap, because fast forward a little bit. I haven't gotten to the eye doctor since I was like 8. I'm 35. Turning 36. So I'm going to the eye doctor today at 1:20. News will probably break while I'm at the eye doctor. We'll probably trade for somebody, and I'll make the video when I get back. But let's jump into this. And I'm going to minimize myself because we're going to talk contracts. And look at this. First one we're going to talk about, Mike White. Everyone saw Mike White's contract, that it was 2 years, $16 million. Oh, my goodness. That's so much money. Blah, 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 this, and that. And not realizing, not reading the fine print where it said 2 years up to $16 million. Because his contract is actually a 2-year, $8 million contract. Has a ton of incentives. But if you look at his cap hit this year, he's only getting paid $2.7 million, $2.79 million this year. And then they can move on from him next year and save $3.5 million. So it's a fantastic contract for Mike White, who's a very good, reliable backup in short stints. I don't trust him for a full season. If he was our starter week 1, I'm like, we're screwed. But if he needs to come in a game here and there, I'm fine with that. But $2.79 million for Mike White. Again, people look at numbers and people hear things and then they freak out. 2 years, $60 million. Why are you paying Mike White $8 million a year? Blah, 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 blah. Up to $16 million. That's why a lot of these things I'm waiting, because like David Long's contract, we're going to look at it, but I don't have the details. So I'll show you that. There's a lot of things I don't have the deets on. So I'm not freaking out about money or contract situations, because I'm going to show you where we're at in cap space, but it means nothing because I don't know whose money's going where, what's allocated where, da-da-da-da. So $2.79 million, and then they can move on and nothing. Like David Long here, right? He signed a 2-year, $11 million contract, so you would think it's $5.5 a year, but we don't know. We don't know what his cap hit is this year. I guarantee that there's an out in the second year. That's what the Dolphins do. They essentially gave him a 1-year deal. Prove us you could stay healthy, because when you're healthy, you are a top linebacker in the NFL. Prove to us you could stay healthy. If you cannot stay healthy, we're going to move on. Plain and simple. So I guarantee you it's a 1-year deal, probably about $6 million $6 million cap hit, and the second year is an out, and his contract is probably a 1-year deal, yada, yada. So again, I don't know what the contract details are. So there'll probably be more moves, more signings, maybe a trade or something this today. But when the full contracts come out, I'm going to be making videos giving you guys an idea of what their contracts look like. Prime example, Jalen Ramsey. His contract, if you look on Spot Track, right? We'll go Spot Track. We'll put in Jalen. I already searched it. Your boy's always 5 steps ahead of himself. If you look at Jalen Ramsey's contract on Spot Track, which again, I go back and forth between Spot Track and Over the Cap, because sometimes Spot Track has things and Over the Cap doesn't, and vice versa. You look at, they didn't update his contract on what the Dolphins did. So you look here, you see $17 million this year, and then they have an out next year. Nope. They redid his contract that the next 2 years, he's getting $17 million this year, 18.5 this year. These are fully guaranteed years, and then they can move on from him in 2025. So this is when they have the out. See how they have the out after this year? They moved it, and they gave him fully guaranteed for these 2 years, and then they have an out. So again, I keep talking to you guys about this. The Dolphins are trying to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. If they don't win one this year, which I don't know, I'm not saying they're going to, I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you what they're trying to do. If they don't win one this year, they're going to try even harder next year with the salary cap and going after big names and yada, yada, yada. Because if not, in 2025, they can move on from Jalen Ramsey. They can move on from Tyreek Hill. They can move on from Teron Armstead. They can move on from Bradley Chubb. They can move on from a lot of players. And they can get a lot of cap space back. All of a sudden, they'll have like probably $100 million in cap space in 2025 if a lot of this doesn't pan out. And Mike McDaniel will probably be gone, and Chris Greer will probably be gone. It seems like Stephen Ross was like, all right, Mike and Chris, sit down. You got 2 years. You don't get me a Super Bowl in 2 years. I'm tearing this MFer down. I'm probably going to be out, and there's going to be a new owner. So, telling you, look at all the contracts. 2025, there's a lot of outs, and there's going to be a lot of money allocated in 2025 where the Dolphins are going to be sitting pretty in cap space. Don't be surprised all of a sudden maybe 2024 they start trading down. So in 2025 they have draft picks. I'm saying. But if you look at the cap space where the Dolphins are at now, 10.9 for spot track. But then again, you go to you go to over the cap, and they're sitting at 7 million. So again, this might be the Duke Riley money. Let me see. That might be the Duke Riley money, but again, yeah. So it seems like they signed Duke Riley to a 2-year deal, and it's the cap hits 1.9, and then they have an out. So it's a 1-year deal for 1.9 again. So that might be where the difference is between spot tracks, 10 million and the 7 million over there. So there you go. Little updates here and there. Real quick, PFF. I want to talk to you guys real quick about still players that are available, right? So we'll look at tackles. Orlando Brown Jr. is going to cost way too much money. Way too much money. He's going to go somewhere to be a starting left tackle. He's not going to want to come to Miami to be a starting right tackle, especially at the projected 5 years, $21 million. Ain't happening. Mike McGlinchey's gone. Juwan Taylor's gone. Caleb. I don't know why I keep calling Caleb McGarry. He is my next. I like him, right? Look at this PFF grade, 86.6, fourth out of tackles. Really liking Caleb. He's my next target. He's the next one I'm honing my eyes on. I'm really liking him. And he's 28. He's not up there in age. Isaiah Wynn, he can kick rocks. He had a horrible year last year. Taylor Lewan, if he wants to play right tackle, but I'm hearing he doesn't, but he also has an injury problem. It's so funny, Jermaine was with the Dolphins, and then Flores cut him, and then he became really good. Had a 75.3, 21st out of 21st ranked tackle. Cameron Fleming could be a possibility at right tackle. I'm not seeing anyone else that I really like, if I'm being honest with you. Billy Turner, remember that name? Brandon Shell, I'd bring him back to be depth. But this is the guy I'm going after now, Caleb McGarry. Running backs, there are a few, like Miles Sanders, could bring him in. He could fit the scheme. You know, Josh Jacobs, franchise tag. Saquon Barkley, franchise tag. Tony Pollard, franchise tag. Kareem Hunt. So for me, running backs would be Kareem Hunt and Miles Sanders. I would still bring back Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr. They could possibly trade for one as a possibility. Linebackers, there's still some good linebackers. Now, I know we just picked up David Long, which I had his name written down. I'm happy with that. Tremaine Edmonds got a huge contract with Chicago. Levante David's still out there, but that age, 33, meh. If we're gonna go with a guy who's up there in age, I'm going Bobby Wagner. TJ Edwards, he goes to Chicago. Chicago had the money, so they're just throwing it at everybody. Jermaine Pratt goes back to Cincinnati. Tranquil's not a bad linebacker either. But again, even Denzel Perryman's not too bad. Bobby Wagner. I want to bring in Bobby Wagner. So if they go out and get oh, and also, sorry, before I make myself bigger again, safeties. Jesse Bates gone. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson still there. Jordan Poyer still there. Von Bell, I think he's gone. Jimmy Ward, he's gone. And then all of a sudden you start to get on the second tier. Jordan Poyer. I think there's a mutual interest there, especially at that 2 years, 8.5 million a year. Wouldn't mind that. So if the Dolphins go out and get Caleb, and they go out and get Caleb, McGarry, they go out and get a running back and then bring some in because we don't have any, and they pick up another linebacker and get Jordan Poyer, I'm good. I think this team is going to be ridiculously good with that. I do like Robert Jones at left guard. You also could take Austin Jackson, have him compete at left guard. I'm good with that. But you're going to face some good pass rushers, so they do need to address the offensive line. And we still have a second-round pick. So I know a lot of you guys are like, tight ends, Doug, tight ends. There are still some guys out there, tight end-wise, that the Dolphins can go after. Austin Hooper, Dalton Schultz, Hayden Hurst, Forrest Moray. There's still guys that they can go out, but I wouldn't mind drafting one. But we pretty much have 2 tight ends on the team right now, so they'll probably add 2. But that's for today. So I'll see you guys when news breaks on signings and all that stuff. And when I get full contracts, I might do a video of just breaking down all the contracts of all the free agents we signed. But again, Mike White, we're paying him about $2 million. I showed you the Jalen Ramsey situation. I don't know about David Long Jr. And Duke Riley is like a 1 year, like $1 million, give or take. Like, it's nothing. And then we brought back Savon Ahmed for like $1 million something. So pretty good so far. I'll let you guys know what happens today. Hope you guys have a fantastic morning if you're heading to work. Hope it's a quick one for you. And other than that, I'll see you guys later today. Like usual, stay classy. Fins up.